time. Me and Brian saw that in theaters, I think. Or
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas. Shall we get started? Are we ready?
I'm
Let's
ready.
do it.
Got my notes here. All right. So the weekly movie here was The Dangerous Lives of the Altar Boys. We kind of talked about it through text, but Brian, you had never seen this before, right?
I have not. No, I'm actually pretty upset with myself that I had never, and after seeing it, I think maybe I saw one trailer for it years and years ago when it first came out,
Okay.
but truthfully didn't remember it. Now that I've seen it, because this was what, 2002, 2003, two. So yeah, great movie. It's one of those obviously completely different tone, and we'll save that for later. But for me, at least, it had the same vibe as The Sandlot. One of those where it's like, man, every kid should probably see this movie at least once or twice. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure. And Blaine and Jesse, you guys have seen this before, right?
Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, I saw it when we lived together. I think you showed it to me.
Okay.
And I didn't remember seeing it. You were like, "Hey, we're gonna watch Dangerous Lives of Altar Boys for the podcast," and you sent me you sent the poster for it in the chat, and I was like, "Oh, I've never even heard of this film," and I popped it on Tubi, and it was like almost instantly, a lot of that film came back to me. I hadn't thought about it ever since I saw it the first time. And I couldn't remember like the bits and pieces, like the small stuff, but I remembered a handful of big things, and I definitely remember the ending. I was like, I remember that stuck with me once I realized what I was watching, and I definitely enjoyed it from a different perspective as an adult and a father than I did as a kid.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, it's heavy. And you had seen it too, Blaine?
Yeah, and like I kind of got to echo that as well. Like I remember seeing it when I was younger on TV, but I didn't remember a lot of it. I remembered the pretty much the comic aspect of it, and like the actual characters. And I remember the boys like talking about their characters. I did remember the ending, and I remember the just the beginning as well with the telephone pole. But other than that, like I remember bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, rewatching it again as an adult, like Jesse said, it's definitely a lot different because you understand a lot more, and even just reminiscing being a teenager and going back on that compared to actually being a teenager watching it, you see a whole different perspective of it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. This being the first movie, I wanted to set that bar. I didn't want to just pick like a Step Brothers or something we've all seen a million times. And then it kind of had some pressure on me because I'm like, man, I want to pick a good movie. If I pick a movie and they all just hate it, this is gonna suck. So, oh shit,
They're coming for you.
Yeah, fire truck. Okay. So
he lives on the noisiest street.
Yeah, I'm in the ghetto. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked it. I love this movie. I remember the first time watching it. I was over at my aunt's house and it was just on TV and was just like, what the fuck is this movie? And yeah, of course that ending really sticks with you. Like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
after I watched it, I was at work and Colby called, and I told him I saw it, I watched it, and then I said I had to redo my movie that I was going to pick for us to watch for the week because he set the bar so high. I was like,
yeah,
he picked that movie, and so I watched it, and then I was like thinking about following, if I had to follow Chris Rock after a comedy show, I was like, oh shit. And we watched that movie, then I'm like on the podcast going to be like, how about some Canadian slashers? You know, like it wasn't going to work. So I had to rework my list.
Hell yeah. Well, awesome. I did write some things down here that I love about this movie. Really, I mean, Tim shines through he's the man. He's the friend everyone should have. He's got your back. And you can really tell that they are true friends in this movie. When Francis, like even in the beginning, that when they're cutting down that light pole, and he's like, "All right, tell me what you want in life." And he's like, "I want to be a comic book writer bigger than DC." He's like, "No, fucking tell me what you really want." And he hollers out the girl's name. I thought that was awesome because he's like, don't bullshit me. Like I can see you want more. What do you want? So I thought that was super cool. And then whenever they're handing out the like the bread and wine or the body and blood or whatever.
Yeah, the communion.
And he sees the girl like hand him the note, and Tim like rings the bell to distract him. And I mean, he's got your back, and I love it. I'm here for it. And man, what an amazing character this Tim is.
And tell me this movie in some way, shape, or form just didn't take you right back to being a teenager. I mean, just because, the whole time I was watching this movie, there's a scene where, Tim and Francis is the one who's hooking up with the chick, right? I'm getting them mixed up.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Francis and the girl are sneaking into that abandoned house or whatever. And I'm like, never happened today. Security cameras and curfews and My 360 or Life 360 and all that bull crap. Like, kids can't sneak out and do that anymore. But I remember when we were kids, sneaking into abandoned houses and exploring under bridges. Like, oh man, I mean, this movie just took me right back. I'm just like, I miss this.
Yeah.
It's truly, you can relate to these kids. Like, we grew up, we didn't have cell phones. This is just the peak of being I assume they're 13, 14 around that age.
So yeah,
man, just so good. I can just totally put myself in their shoes. I think that's why this movie kind of just hits me so hard, and I love it.
It could be because I had like remembered parts of it, but for me, from the beginning of the film where they're cutting the light pole down all the way to the end, there's like this underlining feeling of dread in the movie for me, where I'm watching it because it's like when you're a kid, you don't think about danger and like doing all these things. Yeah, like as a kid, I'm like relating to them, and as an adult, I'm fearing for them. So like I'm watching it, and everything they do is dangerous, and but it's the same kind of stuff that we all used to do, and it makes me flash back to those moments that I feel like I should have been hurt or killed, and I'm just like, it gives me the kind of the chills in a nostalgic, dangerous way, and I think that movie did a really good job of transporting me back to that kind of a time period.
For sure. What else I got here? Again, all my notes are pretty much about Tim. I'm just so in love with this character. I even love the father, the preacher. You can tell you can tell that he's probably had like a past himself. He's always smoking a cigarette. He's just he kind of looks on edge the whole time. I thought that was a great character in there. And then I love that the antagonist or their enemy is, the sister, the nun, because
Jodie Foster,
growing up, that is like, I see both sides now, but growing up, we've all had like a teacher or a parent, and it just seems like they're always trying to push you down, you know, or take your fun away. And that's like their view. Like, this woman is evil, you know, let's get her. But as you're an adult and you're looking back on it, you're like, man, I was an asshole, you know? I could have been better. Like, in reality, they just want you to do good. So it really does like a good job at you know, showing that in the kids' eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I had that in my notes too, where I remember as a kid rooting for the kids and just being like, I relate to them, and I'm like, kids alone, you know, and like, God, they're horrible. All these adults being terrible, and now I'm an adult. I'm a father, and I'm just like, they're just trying to do their job. Like the nun, Jodie Foster,
Mm-hmm.
erasing all the graffiti in the books
Yeah.
all night long, and she knows that if she doesn't keep up with it, it's just gonna get worse. And I'm like, God, I fucking relate to her more than I relate to the kids now, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking well,
also,
oh yeah.
go ahead.
Well, just
Go
as
ahead, bro.
far as the scene that I relate with most, and you know, take this as you will. We grew up in the '90s, so I think we all had pretty more or less common childhoods. But like the scene where Francis, you know, he gets into his first big fight with his girl, and he's like stumbling home, had the worst day ever. And what's he see? Their family has like that mid-century modern open window scheme, and the parents are in the kitchen screaming at each other, and not even like, you know, it's further away, but realistically, like visually 10 feet away. The kid's in the other room. His younger brother is just sitting 3 inches in front of the television set trying to tune out mom and dad fighting. You know what I mean? And Francis like looks in the house, and what does he do? He doesn't go inside. He leaves. He's like, I'd rather be anywhere else than here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
how many times? You know what I mean? It's just like that it was what it was, but it was just like, yeah, I definitely remember that bullshit for sure.
100%. I was gonna say that how interesting it was to cast Jodie Foster and Vincent D'Onofrio in such small roles. Like, they're such like prominent actors, and then they're in these fairly small, not meaty roles at all. Especially Vincent D'Onofrio is just smoking cigarettes.
He's got like 5 minutes of screen time, you know, like in this whole movie. But his impact, like the first few times, like you said, every time you see him, he just looks stressed. Like he's dropping a piano. He instantly needs probably his 10th cigarette of the morning. It's like, I know you.
We're the same.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you were talking about him kind of being in the room when his parents are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I love this too, because pretty much the whole first half of the movie, you see Tim as kind of like this I don't give a fuck attitude, like the rebellious and nothing really gets to him kind of kid. And then you see a look into his life, and that part's kind of heavy. And then they see that dog on the side of the road, and you can tell
Yeah.
it really hits. I think he relates to that dog a lot, of like no one cares for it, no one
cares. Yeah.
And I thought that was like super heavy, super cool scene that they would like put that in there, and I felt it was very strong. I felt for him caring for that dog, and so I thought that was super cool.
And I wanted to also talk about that, because the line he says after he has to put it down, he looks at him and says, "Don't you ever tell me to get real. I know what fucking real is."
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, looking at him and like his parents are fighting and he's just zoning out on the TV like that really, really stuck. And like I didn't like that scene because I never like to see an animal hurt, but he's right. Like he's like, I gotta end its suffering, or it's gonna suffer or continue to suffer. Like no one's coming to help it. And yeah, that scene wasn't very, very powerful.
Yeah, what? Because Francis like tells him like, "Oh, just let them take care of it." He's like, "Them who? We are them." Like,
Yeah.
if we don't care, then no one cares.
What did how did you guys feel? So, when you were getting, or when you were starting to watch it, Brian, how did you feel when that happened? The ending.
The ending? Shit, man. So even though, well, first of all, the whole time they were going about their scheme of wanting to capture this bobcat and drug it and put it in Jodie Foster's office. First of all, I'm like, okay, as someone who's done a lot of dumb shit in my life, no,
Yeah,
like that just sounds like a horrible. You're basically getting over the counter NyQuil and potentially angel dust. It could be flour for all you know. You know the dude they were buying the drugs from that they get their comics from. I'm like, okay, but we'll run with it. You got yourself some angel dust, some ground meat, and your blow dart gun with NyQuil. You know, it's like it ain't gonna work. But okay, for the sake of the movie, suspension of disbelief. The leper or the whatever the bobcat goes to sleep. That whole scene and his last word as he's dropping down from the fence. You know, what was the last thing he said? He said, "People remember the brave." Or do you remember the last line? It was something to
what
that.
you
You know,
say?
yeah, because
It
he
was
said
something.
because the whole argument, instead of having Kieran Culkin's character drop down into the pit, was, yo, bro, the fence is already open, because they had cut the fence with the bolt cutters. Fence is already open. And he said something like fortune favors the brave, or the brave are remembered forever, or something like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like, as
You
soon as he
kind of
said that,
you sense it right then and there. Like, oh.
yeah, and he goes up to the bobcat, and sure as shit, you know, it's probably half dead at this point, but okay, it's asleep, and it's not moving, it's not, you know, responding. And the second one that you never saw in any previous scene, you've only ever seen the very first, you know, the one bobcat just comes out of nowhere, and you know, obviously, kid gets killed, but I was already like shocked. And actually, since we brought up the dog scene, I had a bad feeling ever since I saw that scene, just because this is foreshadowing something. And I wasn't sure who it was going to be, but I was so confident that one of these kids is going to get killed, because I mean, the dog, they already had the balls to kill a dog, you know. But even then, it didn't feel like it was over. Just when he said, you know, don't tell me what real is. I know what real is. I'm like, this ain't over, you know. And so yeah, when I saw the ending, I was pretty blown away. I'm like, holy shit, they did it, type of moment, you know. But yeah, you couldn't have ended it any other way. I don't think that movie, because I mean, that movie's gonna be stuck in my head for a while. Like, it's pretty seared in there. I'm just like, damn. If they would have ended it any other way, I don't think it would have been as impactful.
For sure.
Yeah. Blaine had said in text he was saying that you were getting secondhand embarrassment from the way they were talking to girls.
Like that part I think took me back the most. And I got some notes on that because the whole teenage romance, I think we all have been there. First off, like the whole sneaking around the abandoned places with a girl you like, or at least finding a place. And even just working up the nerve to talk to them was just, oh, it was terrifying. But what really brought me back is whenever he's obviously Tim covers for him to get off the soccer field, so he has to go sit on the bleachers so he can go talk to Marky. Like he set that whole thing in motion, and instead of owning up to the letter, he's like, oh, it's a prank letter. You know, he's not owning up to it at all because he doesn't want to put all of his feelings out there. But that whole thing really took me back, and then just the one liners that they kept talking about, because I think we still do it today, but the one liners, I mentioned this in our text, but the fact that he said there's actually a bone in your penis, that's why it's called a boner. It just, I dropped. I couldn't handle it. And then the other one, like they're sitting on the side of the road. He's showing him his drawing of, was it Major Screw? And he's like, oh, it's 69. And the kid's like, oh, that's 69. And the other one just in the background looks more like 47. It seriously cracked me up so much because just those one-liners, they don't know much about sex. We were all there at one point and we're all figuring things out. And I just love that they brought that into it because it's just extremely relatable. We were all in that phase of our life. And it just got me, man. Even just, I'm sorry, the last one I'll throw in. They're walking up to school and they just grab their nuts and kiss and say Agatha, and just that right there.
Oh my
Amazing.
God, it's so good.
I was watching it and Christine was on the couch and she was like, I have to imagine this is exactly how boys that age talk. And I was like, this is 1000% how boys that age talk.
Yes.
Like it's so accurate.
It's full of shit, really. You act like you know what you're talking about, but you don't.
Yeah. What sold it for me was the binder full of drawings. Tell me that wasn't us to some degree running around Hayworth with whatever fucking project we were working on at the time, trying to get off the ground or, whatever. But we're always getting in trouble in class, because we're supposed to be doing homework, but I'm sitting there drawing Batman, it's like, you can't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
I love that you mentioned that again. I'm sorry that I like that part right there, especially when the father is going through it with Jodie Foster. He's like, is this supposed to be me? And he's bent over and she's just smacking his ass.
Oh my God.
Spanking his ass with a paddle.
Yeah. And like, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about that too, because again, you can tell he's got a past. At first, he sees that book and he kind of like is smiling, like, oh, these boys are crazy. And then he sees himself and you can see he gets like a little upset, like, whoa, like what the fuck did I do, You gotta throw me in there.
That light got brought back to like the half naked demon chicks, and he's just like, all right, this kid can draw. Yeah.
Because
the whole teenage thing was great, because even just the talking about a warm washcloth with soap.
Yeah.
And then they reference it again at the end of the film. He's like, how's that washcloth going? He's just like, dude, shut up.
They like find they find like a dirty cloth under like a car or something. He's like, hey, I got your girlfriend here. And he like chases it's so
that
good.
movie had some amazing one-liners. And I felt like even the background kids they got, besides the two main actors, they did a phenomenal. I mean, it felt like a real friendship, for that age, like you were saying, talking the same way we probably talked, if not pretty close to it. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much how it was. And they just did a really good job translating that to a film with a bunch of young actors.
Yeah. It's also cool. Like, I thought it was funny how it was the Atomic Trinity, and then but there's 4 characters, and then the one kid's like, when are we gonna change the name? And he's like, you're not in the group.
Like, whatever.
Oh God. I really liked when they're lifting the nun, or they're testing like their wheel or whatever. And
the pulley system,
the pulley system. It's like heavy as shit, and he like Francis tells Tim, he's like, I thought you said this was hollow, and he's like, I did. Like you can tell he's just like, again, just full of
he's
shit.
So full of shit.
Exactly.
Full of shit.
And then they like drop it, and Tim is like, man, the whole world is stupider than we are. It'll be weeks before they find out. And it's like the very next scene is like the sister's pissed. and you think like
and
that.
Of course,
like,
they all get dragged into the office.
Like you do something, you're like, man, the parents won't even notice, or the teacher won't even notice, and they notice right away. Like, fuck.
They always,
that's
the way it always was. Every time.
And even just the scene after that, they're putting it, or they're taking it to a little hideout, and he's just like, man, I burned the skin off my hand. I can barely curl my fingers now. And Francis out of nowhere goes, "There goes your sex life." Off the left-hand side. And it's just those one, like that caught me off guard because I didn't hear it at first. I had to go back. I'm like, what did you say? And like that just like it took me a second. I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect.
It's so.
But yeah,
good.
I completely agree. Colby. Like we tried to do something. We thought we were being so clever, and they spotted it immediately.
Immediately.
We were never sly. As a grown up and a dad, my kid thinks he's being slick. He's not. I've been there. I've lived that.
Exactly. I see it now. I mean, my boy's only 7, but I see it. He tries to get over on me. So
the
the
I think the ending funeral scene where he reads William Blake's The Tiger, that was that one probably affected me more than even the death scene. Just seeing him at the church reading such like a related to the situation, the poem, reading the William Blake, but then also seeing all the parents in the crowd there, that affected me. I think I thought the ending with that was really it was really sad. Like it wasn't happy at all, but you also know how young they are and that they have a whole lot of life to continue.
Yeah.
But Tim goes out, you know, in a dangerous way because that dude lived dangerously for sure. Like everything he did, and it was interesting. This is not really related, but the fact that there were 2 mountain lions, I was like, I forgot there were 2. So I was like, oh, that I remember the mountain lion wakes up and gets his ass, and then the other one came out, and I was like, oh fuck! I was like, it just like completely threw me off, and it made me think of because it's Kieran Culkin, right?
Yeah.
I believe he plays in Scream 4 as Charlie, and in that when there was 2 cougars, it made me instantly think of Scream having 2 killers, and I was like, is this foreshadowing for the future? You know,
It could be. I gotta go back and watch Scream 4.
Yeah, it was the third brother, the youngest brother. Is that's what you're thinking of? But yeah, it's another Culkin. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but I completely agree. Yeah, you're taking out of left field with that second cougar, man.
Definitely.
Speaking of awesome. The ending, and it is sad that he dies, but I think it's super cool. He's kind of making him live on. You can tell he's drawing a comic about his friend.
Yeah.
So super cool.
He's living
cool.
on through his art.
Exactly. It'd been cool to see like a 20 years later or something, and having like an established comic throughout the world of it or something. I don't know. Just I hope he continued writing that, and never letting his friend truly die.
I agree, and the fact that it had Todd McFarlane as the art director was awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah. Every time I see Todd's artwork, I mean, the first time I really paid attention to it was Spawn was the first comic I ever picked up. So like I just loved me some Todd McFarlane artwork, but Korn, Freak on a Leash, that whole album, like the album artwork, the music video, that was Todd too. And then later he went and did Disturbed, the dude with the hood and the chains and just the face. I mean, that's got Todd written all over it. So anytime I see Todd McFarlane's artwork, I'm like, I'm here for it,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to comment on that as well. Like the fact that he immortalized Tim by creating that Skeleton Boy comic, and the fact that like you see that he got brought to life, because at the end you show that Nunzilla comes back and just devours him, and like the emotion in that final scene of Atomic Trinity where he's trying to punch the floor to get him and bring him back, and then you see him just come back to life, laughing maniacally and everything. Like the fact, like that's Tim. He was absolutely batshit crazy, and now he gets to be immortalized by his best friend. Like, yeah, that was absolutely an amazing ending.
The part where you're talking about where he's punching the floor, that also affected me probably more than just the death. I get you, because like it's from like the perspective of Francis and the kids, so it's like you're really seeing how they really feel, And that there I thought was really powerful. And I agree. Like having him live on as the character he wanted to be, as Skeleton Boy, I think is awesome. And I agree. I like to think that he did continue on writing those. That's just my own head canon. Because I feel like they're obviously best friends, so that death obviously would affect him forever. So.
Yeah, for sure. See, I have something else. Again, talking Tim is so valuable here. Francis is going through it because he found out some dark shit about his girlfriend, right? And you can tell it's like bothering him, and he can't get out of his head until he finally tells Tim. And Tim is just kind of like, whatever. It's kind of cool, you know. I forget he mentioned somebody like a philosopher or somebody. He's like he banged his cousin or whatever. And
Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, I think banging his cousin.
It like instantly makes Francis like kind of better for a little bit. Like he goes and talks to her again, and like he's just he's everything you need. He's that friend. It's just so cool. They did such an amazing job with him.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, like just the fact that the fact that they are best friends, and even just right before that, they were just beating the crap out of each other. And I think all of us have gotten into a fight like that with our best friend, and then it's over. We got everything out, and we're cool again. And I think I love that they did that because I mean, every one of us, we got in a fight with our best friend, we hashed it out, we said some stuff, and then we just went right back to normal. And like you said, Jessica, like they're talking about that, and he made him feel better about the situation, and that's one thing I really loved about it. Like he didn't go over the top with it. He thought of some way to compare it to someone cool to make him feel better about what was going on, and I guess make it a little bit more normal than what it was. And I love that. Yeah.
And I love that fight scene because you can tell they're not really fighting each other. It's like all these outside, you know, the home life pressure and this girlfriend pressure, and they just got it so bottled up that they kind of just go at each other. And I mean, even as soon as it's done, he says like, "Oh, you're bleeding," you know. He still cares. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's that, you know, it's the internal pressure having to come out, and even you know, if you're the only person in the room, whether or not you're my best friend, you're getting it. You know what I mean? That was kind of the situation they were both in, and you know, for different reasons, obviously, like Francis going through his girlfriend troubles, and Tim with his home troubles, and trying to figure out what's going on with his best friend, who's kind of keeping him on the outside with the girl shit. And it's like, bro, what the fuck's going on? Fuck you too, you know? And they just, I mean, they just have to get it out. But like you said, you know, 10-minute scuffle until you break the statue and almost get your head crushed. Okay, we're good. Time out. Like, let's talk this out.
And it's true too, because that's why you hurt your best friends. That's why you hurt the people you love. That's why you target them, is because they're the person that you trust the most. You know, they're the person that you know will be there after you hurt them. And it's like they're the person that they're the only person you can do that with. Like you could not do that with anybody else, and it mean the same thing. And also know that it will be okay. Like if you were to do that to a stranger or a kid in school, it's like bullies who do that don't tend to have friends, right? It's because they pick random people to do it to. And so you pick your best friend because you know they're the only one that can help you and like make you feel better, and they'll be there when you're done. And I think that they know that, and whether they know that or not, they know it internally, you know. So
I'm doing this because I love you.
Exactly. I'm doing this because I know you'll forgive me.
So I'm not sure if you wanted to jump ahead, but I really wanted to talk about this just because I thought it was the big twist of the film, and that was the whole SA with Margie and her brother. That caught me off guard because, I mean, obviously, like we said, Margie tells him when they're sipping on the scout, or was it the skimmed booze from his dad's liquor cabinet, which I feel like we all did as well. Tells him what's going on, and then he tells it to Tim. Tim lets it slip after Donnie just pegs him in the nuts with the soccer ball, and then we find out that she is the one that wanted it and was blackmailing her brother. Like that just
It
completely
was kind
caught
of
me
a
off guard.
double whammy. Like, and to
Yeah.
be honest, like now correct me if I'm wrong. At the end, it kind of jumps ahead a little bit, and you still see uh Francis and Margie hanging out. So I'm assuming the relationship healed and is
Hmm.
continuing. But even so, I thought that was kind of bullshit on her part, where I need to have this honest moment with you. I'm just not going to tell you the whole truth. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then it
Yeah.
comes out that, okay, what you said happened. It just didn't happen the way you, or you omitted the way that it happened. It wasn't the fact that she really lied to him. She just didn't come out and say, actually, I'm the crazy one. I'm the one who did all, initiated the whole thing. And it's like, well, would have been nice to know ahead of time while we were having our moment. It's like, I don't know if I would have been the bigger guy at that point. Like, it's fucked up what you did to begin with, but like to completely just, if you're gonna tell me. Don't omit that stuff, because now I just made your brother look like a bigger dick than what he is, and I'm sure he already feels terrible about the whole situation. So it's like, okay, well, this is just a mess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It super layered movie for sure because
Mm-hmm.
it's got the idea of physical danger, dangerous live altar boys, but also emotional danger of like trying to talk to women, and mental danger, all that kind of stuff. And then it also had like everybody had some sort of secret throughout the film. Like the kids were the ones that drew the stuff. They're the ones that stole the statue. Margie's got her secrets, and so it's all a Catholic thing of confession, and no one's confessing. Uh, but also, I thought it was interesting that they wanted to throw something supernatural in with the ghost, where
Yeah.
Emil Hirsch is laying there and he sees the lady on the bed.
Yes.
And I thought that was really cool. That was really interesting, and I think it's cool that they left it completely untalked about or untouched, and it's something that sits in the back of your mind and everyone else's mind in the movie of afterlife and God and ghosts and things like that. I thought that was interesting.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Completely.
and then she, because when she mentions the ghost, the first thing she says to Francis is, "You must think I'm crazy." But then we see everybody sees the ghost, so it's like, wait, she's not crazy, but she's crazy. Like, now I'm just conflicted.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
is she crazy?
Oh, so that was all my notes I had. Anyone have anything else they wanted to add?
I mean, just a solid movie. I don't really
Yeah.
have anything to add other than uh, we've touched on most of the big stuff, I think, throughout the film without giving the entire thing away. But overall, like I said, I'm kind of mad I didn't know about it or see it prior to this, but
Mhm.
super glad. It was
Yep.
really good.
One of my favorite movies, except it's not a movie I could watch all the time. A little too heavy for me,
Definitely.
but
Agreed.
whenever you come back around to watch it again, it's like I'm all in for it. So,
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yep.
I thought Brian said something interesting when he compared it to Stand By Me. It's kind of the American indie film of Stand By Me, like that version, right? I thought that was pretty good analogy.
Have you guys all seen the Peanut Butter Falcon with Shia
Yes,
LaBeouf?
I have not.
I have.
oh, that's a
It
good one.
it kind of, again, just that indie feel, and that constant feeling of danger, like same
Mhm.
same kind of feeling, but then obviously different ending, but like it did give me kind of the same, I guess, feel. Whereas in Peanut Butter Falcon, no spoilers, Blaine, earmuffs, but like uh the kid ends up going to his wrestling match. You know, he gets to backyard wrestle and feel like a champion and stuff. It was kind of that same moment when they stole the statue and they didn't get caught. You know what I mean? Even though they knew who did it, but like they didn't get caught. And I'm like, he had his moment, you know. So now you have hope the whole Bobcat thing is going to work. And it's like, man, of course, you know, it just didn't clearly, but you know, that same feeling of, oh, maybe it will, you know, but whatever. My point being, very similar films, I guess, with the indie style.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I loved it. Great movie.
Awesome. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Said I was nervous. I was racking my brain on what to pick, and I was like, God, I hope this is the movie that everyone likes, and if everyone hates it, we're doomed.
Solid pick.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was absolutely excellent. And I gotta say, Colby, I'm glad you picked that because I love Emil Hirsch, and immediately after that, I watched The Girl Next Door just because the way he acts in that movie he acts the same in that movie, and that's one of my I could watch that anytime. So I immediately had to watch it after.
I was thinking of the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
I'm not going to talk about that yet. That's for my movies that we're talking about later. But yes,
that's fine. That's fine.
It's so scary.
It is scary.
One thing I didn't that really was bugging me is that I think it's Wade who's Captain Ass Kicker, the kid with the dark hair. I couldn't pin his face or place his face, and I realized he's from Jay and Silent Bob or Clerks. Because I remember watching Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and he goes up and asks for the dime bag. He's like, $15, little man. I was like, that's that kid. It took me a second to realize who it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I saw his face, and I heard his voice. I was just like, God, it sounds so familiar. And sure enough, that's the kid that went to go get the dime bag from Jay and Silent Bob.
Dang, that's crazy. Did we want to move into underrated, overrated?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ooh,
This is gonna be interesting.
I got too distracted by this. I forgot we were doing that.
What's I guess to kind of explain it, do you want to explain the premise of underrated, overrated?
Yeah. So wanted to do just like a fun thing of picking a movie that I guess at least we see. I don't know, that everyone sees as or that we feel is a overrated movie and an underrated movie. And then we kind of later brought it down to a genre or movies in a specific genre. So, do we want to start overrated?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Again, the genre is horror.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't have the wrong list up. All right.
Like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What?
Underrated.
Yeah, I would agree. So overrated, I picked the Saw movies.
Ooh.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
I would have to agree, honestly. They're great gore films, but yeah.
I think that's a solid pick. I love the first one, but after that, I got nothing.
Exactly. I like the first one. I even like the second one, but I just felt like they were money grabs after that. People are loving this. Let's just keep pumping them out. And I think they're overrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that to at least the first one, I agree. The first one was the best. Just the twist at the end, really, really sold it. And I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that gory before Saw came out, because dude, this dude's cutting his own foot off. Holy crap. I mean, I've seen some things, but yeah, that twist alone. And like you said, the second one was good, but I recently saw 10, and I was like, I almost fell asleep in the theater. It was just really boring.
I didn't even know there was 10 of them.
I'm trying to think of that, man. Yeah,
I shut
man.
that one off.
Saw X-Ler. Yeah. No, good pick. I completely agree.
Cool.
For my overrated, now look, I'm gonna say this: that just because I think something's overrated doesn't mean I don't like it. All right, I'm just saying.
Fair, yes.
My pick is probably going to be Blair Witch.
Ooh.
I think that it's a good movie. I think it's fine. I think it is scary, like especially if you're watching it by yourself and then you go camping. But I think that it just isn't as good as like everybody says it is. Like I've
Mhm.
watched a couple times, and it's to me it meanders. It's just one gigantic meandering movie, and there's always this underlying aspect of fear or dread, and then of course things never really pick up except the ending for me when she Heather goes into the house in the basement and sees Josh in the corner. That shit's terrifying.
Yeah.
But this movie should be a short film to me. Like, that's the scariest part. The rest is kind of a
Mhm.
snooze fest.
I would have to
Um,
agree. Like, yeah, it started us off with the found footage type movies, but when you really back up, because when we first watched it, that was like what 1999, I think it came out, and we still didn't have the technology we have now today. So yeah, it was terrifying. But Jesse, I agree. It's like, was it 90 minutes of walking through the woods, running, and horrible camera, and then the last 5 minutes is like, holy shit. I,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree with you on that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
I would disagree. I love the Blair Witch. I mean,
Okay.
Okay.
to me,
I,
it's
I
super scary. Growing up like around woods, I love being in the woods, and to this
mm-hmm.
day, I know there's nothing out there, but it comes across your mind of like when you're out there by yourself or something. It's creepy, and that movie
Yeah.
comes in kind of gives me chills a little bit. So
Look, I understand that, and I'm not saying it didn't spook me, but I like my dad said when he first watched it, he was like, "That movie was trash," and then my brother-in-law was like, "Well, you want to go camping?" And he was like, "Fuck no."
No, like Toby, I gotta agree with you, man. Like I think it also goes with setting because I mean our town is surrounded by woods and it's creepy. Especially, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, hell, where Shope lives, like it's not necessarily where he grew up, not necessarily surrounded by woods, but it was creepy as hell. And
Mm-hmm.
you try and show it to someone who lives in a big city, like they're not going to get that because how often do they go into the woods? I mean, I think we
exactly.
all
Yeah.
have been camping in a random part. And yeah, I think Chunk said it best in the Goonies. He's like, I love the dark, but I hate nature. I hate it, and I completely agree. I tell my kids that I'm like, yo, I love the dark, but you hate what's in the dark. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Shope, you want to go next? You want me to take it?
You know what? I think so. It was hard. I kind of had a list going just because, well, I had to eliminate Shyamalan films. It's too easy. Like, I don't care what you say about the guy. After The Sixth Sense, they're all pretty trash. Uh, Same with Cloverfield.
Mm-hmm.
As a series, even the first one,
Mm-hmm.
it's especially growing up on Godzilla, just can't really take it seriously. Now, this one, I think is the one I settled on. I don't know if you would qualify it as a horror. It's kind of there. Um, did any of you guys see The Menu?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not.
Hate, hate that freaking movie. Like, everybody for weeks was telling us, you got to see The Menu. And it's one of those that dropped on Netflix. Oh, man, have you watched The Menu yet? It's like, nah, it doesn't look very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? I like all the actors in it. I'll give it a shot. I was waiting for the scary stuff to happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this was a bunch of rich people getting caught up. The only way I can describe it is, and these are, I guess, too, since Blaine, you said earlier, camping and city folk. Well, city people actually attend these kind of events that you see in the menu where you go to these fancy restaurants with it's a themed dinner and it's a bunch of weird shit. You're probably paying like 25 grand 50 grand a plate type of thing. I mean, just stupid rich people stuff. But everybody we knew was like, oh my god, it's terrifying, it's so scary. It was just a bunch of rich people that went to go have dinner and they get swept up in this revenge murder mystery game where everybody in the room somehow wronged each other. and they're slowly getting killed off. And I'm just like, man, if I was at this party, I'd die of boredom long before anything else. Like, hurry up and let's get the murder on. Like, there's nothing happening. But yeah, I guess if I had to pick overrated in recent memory, that's the one that takes the cake. I just don't waste your time. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You want to get
that film, I did like that film, but that was a one-time watch for me. So I agree with you there. I love Ralph Fiennes. I think he's absolutely amazing. And he was good in that, like the seriousness he brought to that role, and then he just had that beautiful nature at the end. But yeah, that's a one-time watch. So yeah, I didn't find it over the top or scary or anything. Like, yeah, it's rich people eating, and hey, they're all getting messed up in this film one way or another. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I mean, this affects me none. Can't relate to this at all. So
I gotta cross this off my next movie of the week. No, I've never seen it, but I since you started talking about it, I've seen plenty of clips on like TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and stuff. So
the clips are probably all you need to see.
Yeah,
honestly.
if you've seen the clips,
they're probably
you've
the
seen
best
the
parts
movie.
of the movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Blaine, you're up.
I might get hate for this. This is a newer film, and I had one from back in the day to now, and maybe I'm just dull to this, but I watched Talk to Me, and I think Talk to Me was super overrated. Have you guys seen it?
I actually like that movie. I didn't think it that, but I can see what you mean though.
Yeah, it's just the whole scary parts weren't scary to me. I mean, it was a really cool premise, being able to grab onto this hand and speak to loved ones. Like, that was cool, but I just didn't find it as terrifying as everyone said. And I don't know, like I found myself pulling up my phone and like looking at it during the movie instead of being captivated by it. And that for me right there, like really shows like I don't have a lot of interest in the movie. But again, maybe it's just because I'm kind of dull to everything. I love demonic type movies, but that one just really, I thought was overrated because everyone's like, this is the scariest thing I've seen this year and everything. And it didn't land for me.
I will say, now that you are talking about it, I do remember thinking that I was losing interest at around a little bit over the halfway mark. Where
like the first half was solid, and then it really trailed off for me. Yeah,
I do agree.
Can I tell you guys my runner-up?
Yeah.
I feel like you all would agree with me. It was I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh,
the 1997.
Which one? The new one?
No, the original one. Like, I love me some Jennifer Love Hewitt. That was my childhood crush. But it's a great slasher flick, but it wasn't scary to me. Like, it had great chase scenes, but like her iconic, "What are you waiting for?" Like, I just couldn't help but laugh my ass off during that part. Like, it just, I don't know. Even the new one was just horrible. I almost shut it off.
I hated the new one. I strongly disagree with that pick, but
go for it.
But I can understand. I think that movie is actually very underrated for me. It always gets lumped into worst Scream inspired teen slashers, and I remember it scared the shit out of me as a kid. It like really put me on edge. Like the what am I trying to think of? The tension in the film of the build up to the chase scenes, and they drug those chase scenes out. I remember that movie making me feel nauseous. I was so nervous. So I don't agree there, but I do agree with how terrible What Are You Waiting For?
That's why it's so good in Scary Movie, though. What are you waiting for?
But like, Jesse, like you said earlier, like, it doesn't mean I don't like the movie. Like, it's hey, one of those original slasher movies, but like the acting was just subpar. And I think that's what kind of got from me. But like, yeah, like the chase scenes were fantastic. I will definitely agree with you there. Like the actual, but the in between filler parts were.
The premise of the film, I actually I love we did something terrible, and now someone knows about it. Yeah. I love that. like especially in a slasher film. And it's like the sins of your past come back to bite you in the ass, you know. And so I really like that aspect of that movie. But the new one, I wanted to walk out of the new one. I hated it.
It left a bad taste in my mouth, man. They completely just ruined the whole entire series, or was it run of that with the whole twist. I'm not spoiling anything. There's a twist at the end. It was horrible, and from what I understand, at least you can, Jesse, I think you back me up. The very end feels like they're going to make another one, and I really hope they don't.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I have not seen the new one. I'm with Jesse on this one. I love the old school, the OG. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on that boat there.
Now, what about our underrated?
Underrated.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is. I got two. I didn't know because I don't know. So my first one, I'm gonna go with Ghost Ship. I think is underrated. I don't know. I don't hear enough people talking about it. Ghost Ship is so good.
That opening scene, man.
Exactly. Like that right there is enough to be like, fuck yeah, this movie rules. I'll rewatch it just for this opening scene.
What a great pick. That is a solid pick, dude. I love that movie.
Good movie, like good soundtrack.
Yeah, especially the opening scene. I used to have a crush on Emily Browning forever, and then the Italian singer in that film was fine as shit. So I was like, hell yeah.
Jesse was probably like, I'd still hit that in zombie form. It's cool.
100%.
For sure.
No, dude, I'm in 100% agreement. I watched Ghost Ship about 2 months ago. Opening scene is probably one of the most iconic opening scenes in horror. Mudvayne, I mean, that's a local group. I think they're out of Peoria.
Out of Peoria, yeah.
The fact that we have a freaking ghost ship that has buried treasure on it, and like the whole flashback cutscene of them just completely murking the whole entire ship was amazing. And like Jesse, like you said, the fine Italian woman. I mean, I'm just like, oh man, I hope nothing bad happens to her fucking hook in the face, just swinging. I'm like, oh man, all right, well, but yeah, that movie and the ending was just, dude, I think that's a completely fantastic underrated movie that you picked. Absolutely.
And
I agree.
You just always hear people saying like, oh yeah, the beginning is good, like that opening scene, but I don't really care for the rest of it. I've read that a lot, so I was like, "What? That don't make sense." Ghost Ship's awesome, so that's my pick. When they're eating those beans and they're just like, they're having the time of their lives, you know. They're like, they think they got it, you know, like, yeah, we're fucking maxing. And it turns into like maggots and
maggots.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think about that scene all the time when I eat. It makes me nauseous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I picked. I kind of picked a one that is maybe not well known, but it's called Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. You guys ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a meta film. It's a mockumentary, and it's about a guy who's in a world where slasher villains from the movies are real. So Jason is real, Freddy's real, Michael's real. And there's a fella named Leslie Vernon who's a up and coming slasher, and he's being followed by a documentary crew, and they are documenting, you know, who he is, what he does when he's not killing and stuff. And they know he's dangerous, but they know that this has never been documented before. And he has a mentor throughout the film who teaches him the ways. And if you know horror movies, then you know that his mentor is the killer from Black Christmas, the original. And so if you're a slasher fan, it is a movie for you where you will watch it and you will see so many elements, Easter eggs, tropes, things that are only for you as a fan. It's got Robert Englund in it as a Dr. Loomis style character who is trying to get Leslie to stop doing what he's doing. And even that character is part of the meta because Leslie knows that you have to have an Ahab as they call it, like Moby Dick Ahab,
Yep.
and that's his. I recommend that movie highly. So if you guys haven't seen it, I would check it out.
All right. Yeah, I've never
Definitely
seen
going on
it.
my list. Yep, I'm definitely gonna watch that.
What you got, Brian?
Again, this one was hard because like the easy answer is The Thing, but I think at this stage enough people know The Thing. I don't think you can really count it as underrated. Along the same vein was Deep Rising. That movie just don't get enough love. It's got Benny from The Mummy. You know, there's just they've got those sweet, like rifle Gatling guns that they just blast the squid legs with. I mean, movie has everything. It's perfect. And
Dude,
also, fun fact about the ending of that film, they had every intention of making a sequel. When they got to the island and you see all the tentacles and stuff busting out of the ground, that was supposed to be Monster Island and was going to be an intro to a 90s Kong, since they were doing a 90s Godzilla American
That-
version.
Ooh, a little
Has
fun
everybody
fact
seen-
with it.
Has everybody seen that movie?
No.
I
Deep
watch
Rising?
it at least once every 2 months. Like I fall asleep
Yeah.
to that movie.
Yeah,
I-
it's
Not even joking.
the definition of
it's-
underrated.
yeah,
It's so good,
it's
dude.
great. Couple more honorable mentions. The last one I'm going to mention, I'm still going to mention it, but it may be on my list of watches in case y'all haven't seen it. But The Retreat with Cillian Murphy.
Yes, we watched that together.
It's so one of my
I think I've
biggest
seen that one.
fears, just in horror movies in general. One of the reasons I love The Thing so much, it's an isolationist film. That idea that you're stuck, you know, it might be you and a couple of people, but regardless, you're stuck somewhere, you're isolated from the outside world. Like that whole idea just terrifies me. Add a cult to the mix, and I'm legitimately terrified, like screaming.
Yep.
But The Retreat is Cillian Murphy and his wife. Basically, quick synopsis: they try to repair their broken marriage by going off to this cabin where they first vacationed at when they kind of were dating or whatever. But it's in the autumn, so once they're there, they're there for at least like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. They can't leave because of weather conditions. And the only way to communicate is a ham radio. And so him and his wife, you know, they're getting settled in. Things are kind of rocky. Nobody's really having fun. But this random dude washes ashore in a boat, and you know they end up taking him in. And he says the outside world has been infected with some kind of virus. I'm like one of the only survivors, at least of my team, that made it, and we can't go anywhere. And the whole time, you don't know if he's telling the truth, if he's just some, you know, drugged addict rando just feeding them a line of bullshit that's going to kill them in their sleep. Like, you have no idea. So if you haven't seen The Retreat, 2011, highly recommend it. Antichrist with Willem Dafoe. Another like heavy but super scary one. Pretty indie. I mean, if you're interested in it, it deals with like sort of possession, but similar circumstances, a couple working on their marriage, and of course demons get involved. Terrifying. Bone Tomahawk.
Oh
That's a
God.
good one.
That's, I mean, that
scene.
one.
Cool.
Oh man, yeah, Bone Tomahawk. But finally,
Kurt
and
Russell.
this, yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Kurt Russell?
Mhm.
And this is the one that's might be on my list here. The Taking of Deborah Morgan.
Mhm.
Have you guys
Haven't
seen that
seen
one?
No.
It's on.
I think
It's on
it's,
Prime.
I think it's Deborah Logan.
Or Deborah Logan. Thank you.
I was going to
Deborah
say,
Morgan is
Dexter's sister
Dexter's
gets
sister.
taken?
Dexter, yeah, too much Dexter. No, Deborah Logan. It is on Prime. It may be streaming somewhere else, but The Taking of Deborah Logan. And all I'll really say about that one, without giving too many spoilers, it's kind of found footage style. It takes place from the view of documentary students. And the subject of their documentary is they're paying this lady like a grant, grant money, like 10 grand to come make this documentary about Alzheimer's, and it centers around her mother. Well, the daughter's, super short on cash. She's just trying to pay the bills, yada, yada. So, yes, come make your documentary. No one's really thrilled in this situation. But they're medical students, documentary students, like they have the whole team there that they need to make this like really good professional documentary about Alzheimer's. And as the movie goes on, it ain't Alzheimer's. This woman is possessed, and it's at first. I mean, the thing I'll say about that movie, again, stop myself because I don't want to give anything away, but it does an excellent job at making you think, okay, am I crazy? Am I starting to blame this character who is sick, who does have Alzheimer's, and I'm jumping the gun thinking she's eviler than what she is. I mean, it just does a great job at making you kind of second guess yourself. So
yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I watch that one probably once or twice a year. It's just awesome.
Yeah, good one. Blaine, have you gone?
I'm taking all these down because I want to watch all of them. Like I love me some horror films, so I'm writing them down. So my go ahead.
It's my least out of like all the films. I probably haven't seen most of the horrors. Some slashers I get into the slashers, but
yeah, and like honestly, I get that, and I've been getting my son into horror films, and he's been like Insidious is the only one I've had to shut off because he got so afraid of it. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That one's scary.
It is, and I think you could all imagine what scene I had to shut it off at. I'll just leave it at that.
Where he appears, and the demon first appears right behind him, and he does that like click click. It's like, yeah, fuck that. I remember seeing that in theaters, and I'm like, I hate this movie. I love it, but I hate it.
The fact that he's over on the couch and I just see this, I'm like, he's like, shut it off. I'm like, all right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got my underrated. I've got some honorable mentions, but I personally love Darkness Falls, 2003.
Yeah.
So this movie, I'm not sure if you haven't seen it. It's based around a child. He loses his last baby tooth, and he's visited by the tooth fairy. There is a legend in the town that this woman, she used to give children money for their baby teeth. They thought she was a witch. They pretty much burned her, and she was extremely scarred. She had to wear this porcelain mask. Our main character, he loses his last baby tooth. Boy peaks. I mean, obviously, there's some creepy sounds in his room. I probably would have done the same. And his mother gets killed, and you just kind of see him. I think it fast forwards to 20 years later, and he forever will not go into the dark because the light hurts her. Like her skin is so deformed that light will hurt her. The whole film is his childhood crush has a little brother experiencing night terrors, but it's actually this antagonist or villain that is pretty much haunting him, and they're running from her. I can't tell you how many times like I watched that film and I did not want to shut the lights off. That like whole guttural like thing still creeps me out to this day. But that one right there, I've watched it, more than 10 times. I absolutely loved it. I thought like when I first saw it, I just thought it was a cool concept. The special effects of like her floating and just the story around it I thought was absolutely fantastic, and I think it's underrated.
It is underrated for sure.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Honorable mentions. Jesse mentioned it earlier, but The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That movie messed with me, man. It was such a cool story. Again, Emile Hirsch is in it, and it completely got me. I played the mortuary assistant, and it reminded me of that a lot. If you haven't played that, Colby, like there's a stream of thought right there. Mortuary Assistant, amazing horror game, freaking cool. They actually have a movie coming out based off the game itself, but it reminded me of that, and it just like The whole time you're trying to figure out like what the hell's with this Jane Doe. Thought it was awesome. Lights Out is another runner up. Again, one of those movies that I didn't want to shut the lights off and I got freaked out. Because there's something about darkness, man. It freaks me out. All right. We don't know what's in it. And this really plays into that. Like really plays into that. And this is creepy creature in there. Freaks me. Yeah. But my final one, Shope and I actually went and saw this in theaters. And I remember watching it. Drag Me to Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that movie is.
It's a great
I
movie.
mean, it's got everything. Like, it's got comedy, it's got horror, it's got action, it's got the whole gross portion of it. I can't tell you, like, I felt sick after I left that theater, but also like the whole fact, like the car scene, like she's in the car and like that creepy ass woman is coming up behind her. I remember grabbing Shope's arm, just like, holy shit. But yeah, that movie, man, so good. Like I think it's completely not talked about enough, and it's absolutely underrated. Dragging to Hell was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Raimi still got it.
That's true.
He does.
I got picked to pick the movie of the week. I got to get off here, so I'll have to give this out real quick. But
yeah,
my pick. I think I showed Brian this movie. But I would recommend rewatching it just because I think it's been a long time since we've seen it. I believe it's on Amazon. I think it's free right now. But if it's not on Amazon for free, I think it's probably $3.99. So if it's too much, I get it. But it's the movie called Ghost Story from 1981, and that would be my movie of the week. It's one of my favorite films of all time. One of my favorite horror films. And if you guys give that a watch this week, I'd be excited to hear what you think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's an obscure pick, but because it's not. I mean, it's scary, but it's not like probably not what we're all thinking of right now in terms of scary. You know what I mean? It's definitely its own thing for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I've never seen it, so I'm excited to.
I haven't either. I'm excited.
Dive into that.
I'll send it to y'all in the group text just so I'll check the prices and things like that just to make sure. But I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't even worry about that. I got you guys covered on that aspect.
Okay. Well, you want to sign us off?
Yeah, that'll do it for another episode of the Gunks Podcast. Awesome job, guys. That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast.
Yes, it was.
That was awesome. I loved it.
Yes.
Until next time, gents.
Until next
See y'all.
time.
See you guys.